Yo, salam nerds. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yo,
Yeah.
yo.
Oh, it's your boy Neves, aka Watch with Neves, and I'm here with my co-host Jazz, aka DJ Mountain Time.
Mountain Time, Central Time, sir.
I know, but I don't understand Mountain Time. I don't know where that even came from. Like,
Buddy,
I thought Mountain Time
superior
meant
one.
like the higher you go on the mountains, that's the time limit for like the high people at high elevation. They get their own time zone. That's what I used to
That
think.
makes a lot of sense, though.
Right? Because
Yeah.
according to Einstein, time is relative. So the higher you go, the
That's
more.
true.
I'm
That's
out.
true.
Listen, you know I'm right. You know I'm right. Jazz, welcome to the show. We missed you last episode. I think you were
Yeah,
out.
I had a really weird night that night. My friend had a flat tire, and oddly enough, you had a flat tire that day too. If
I
recall.
did. I did have a flat
Yeah.
tire.
So I had to go help a friend of mine. He was like 20 minutes away. He was staying with me from Austin, and so it was just a bad time.
I know. I was like, Jazz went to go save the princess because we were doing a Mario episode, and Jazz went to go help one of his friends.
I will let him know he's a princess.
Well, listen, Jazz, we got some incredible guests today. I am so excited for today's episode. I think I've been trying to get this episode done for almost like a year. Back
Wow.
when, yeah, for real, because I was a little bit of, I was a nobody on TikTok doing my thing, doing reality shows, doing a little bit about representation, and then this guy, I just happened to follow him. I think his name is Asif. He was controlling your account, the TikTok for the Halal Gap, I believe.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool, Muslim, I'll add you guys. And I see you guys interviewing people here and there. He followed me back, and like we just started chatting. And then I get an invite to come to this amazing Muslim film festival. And I'm like, what? Little old me? I was so excited. So I got invited. I went there. It was the most fun I've ever had. I got to meet people. I got to network. It was just so much fun. And I was just blown away by how organized you guys are. So I want to introduce you guys to people who two of the people that work on the Moscow Film Festival, who also happen to have their own podcast called The Halal Gap, which I love that name. If you don't know what the Halal Gap is, the Halal Gap is when a man and a woman are like taking a picture or they're standing next to each other. There's got to be a little bit of gap between them, or else it's haram. Always. Which was really funny because the first season of Miss Marvel actually mentions the Halal
Yeah.
Gap.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, look at you guys getting a plug-in. How much did you have to pay Sana to get that in there?
The big.
So I want to introduce you guys to Sophia and Sikandar. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Man, we're good now that you guys are here, man. We're so excited to have you on.
Likewise, we're excited to be here.
Yeah.
Long-time listeners, first-time caller. Very happy to be here.
Sophia, where are you from? Have you always been in Canada?
In Canada, yes, not in Edmonton, though. I'm originally from Calgary, so like 3 hours south, rival hockey world. So I moved here for school and then just kind of stayed.
The only thing I know about Calgary is that's where Bret the Hitman Hart is from, and I was
true.
I was a big
correct.
wrestling fan. That's the only thing I know.
Yeah, as was my father, who was also very excited to be in that city. With so, yeah,
Fun fact, Sophia's middle name is actually Brett.
yeah. Don't I told you not to tell anyone.
Yeah, Brett Alami. Rolls off the tongue.
That's so funny. And Sikandar, you used to be in New York for a while, right?
I was, man. That's how we have like 100 mutual connections. But yeah, I went to school in New York and then hung around there for a bit and was back and forth for a long time. And now back in permanently in Edmonton.
So when did you leave New York? Because I have a funny story that I'm going to share and completely embarrass you.
What?
Yeah.
It's been a while. I was still back and forth there pretty much right until COVID, but I left I was permanently left there like around 2015.
Yeah, so 2015, 2016 is probably when I got into the New York scene. I wasn't really in the scene until, around 2016, I believe. So I met a bunch of people, and I'd always hear them talk about this guy named Sikandar. And people would be like, he's so cute, he's so good looking.
Oh boy.
But you had already left. So there happened to be another guy named Sikandar. And like, and he was not that cute, and I was just like, "What's wrong with these girls?"
Oh, man.
I was like, "These girls have like the really low bar." Like the way they were talking about him, I thought he was like a model. And then when I came to Canada and I met you, and I'm like, "Oh, that's the guy."
What a compliment! Wow.
I appreciate that, and I feel bad for this other Sikandar who's maybe going to stumble across this podcast at some point. And
I know.
bad news, but
All the
appreciate it.
others in New York are crying
Yeah.
right now.
I know. I'm sorry. R.I.P. to all the other Sikandars.
Oh man.
Oh man, no, that's really cool, man, and we're really glad to meet you guys. What do you guys do outside of the? We're gonna get into the Oscars and the Halal Gap, but do you guys do anything outside of that?
Yes.
Okay, like what? What are your real jobs?
I was laughing because this is not a paid gig, so I was just that's hilarious to me. Yeah, this is just a labor of love. But so I work in nonprofit. So I'm a project manager at a nonprofit, and I work with after school programs for vulnerable kids as well as addiction related stuff.
Oh, very good, man. Noble stuff. We love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sophia's
Yeah.
the noble one out of the two of us, and I am on the opposite side.
There's
of the
the
spectrum.
visionary.
Yeah, no, I help run a venture and growth capital firm. So we invest in a whole bunch of different businesses, and then hopefully see them grow and then go from there. But everything from childcare to dry cleaning to manufacturing to real estate, we're all over the place.
Wow, love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
All
I-
right.
I love that you guys have the dynamic of like one person being the honorable one and one person being the capitalist one.
The
and it's
raging capitalist, yeah.
because me and Jazz talk about it where I'm the halal one and Jazz is the haram one on our show.
All
like it.
facts.
Amazing.
Oh man, no, that's awesome, man. So tell us a little bit about the Halal Gap because I got to be on that an episode. It was so much fun. You guys are not like our podcast because you guys are professional. You guys actually have your shit together. like
Scripted and everything probably.
yeah, like you know what, like the YouTube clip of this. I used their image that they made. I just repurposed. I repurposed
Hey,
their
man,
image.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? It's all good. That's all good. No, yeah, we are. We're on season 4 now of the Halal Gap. So we started in 2019, and the intent was basically to be somewhat of an extension of what we're working on with the Oscars, which is to try to give more of a platform to Muslim artists and creatives, right? And so, while the main festival that we host is predominantly focused on film, with the Halal Gap, we wanted to try to extend that to other creatives as well, right? So we still sit down and do long format interviews with Muslim creatives in the film industry. We also do it with people in all different walks of life. So we've had, you mentioned earlier that you're a wrestling fan. We had Mustafa Ali, who's a WWE wrestler, on the podcast before. We've had, obviously we've had, actors and writers and directors and all sorts of people like that. We've also had professional gamers and comedians. And so it's a pretty wide and diverse array of Muslim creatives that we sit down and chat with and kind of get a sense from them as to what are those gaps of representation that they've seen throughout their career and their journey, as well as, what are they working on to help fill those gaps. So a little bit of a wordplay on the Halal Gap, but yeah, it's been awesome. It's been a fascinating 4 seasons, and we continue to have some amazing guests like yourself, Neebs, join us and talk about what they're up to.
Listen, you guys had some really, really good, and you just reminded me something. I know how I found you guys. You guys had someone named Danish Makbul on your show. I believe.
D-Mac. Yeah,
I grew up with him. Like we were neighbors, so like he knows everything. He knows about the time I got my ear cut off. He knows the time.
Man.
He knows about the time I burned my brother's hair. Like he has.
Oh, wow, let's get into that.
He's got
Story.
dirt on me, that guy, and I got dirt on him too. So,
That's
but yeah, we grew up together. So I was like, oh, I recognize him on your show. But you guys have some really, really cool guests. Like I really enjoy tuning into your podcast. I listen to it in the car. I love checking out the clips of the videos. So you guys are like, you're the bar for us, man. We're gonna get there one day.
No, man, we're just all learning from each other, honestly.
Yeah.
You guys are as equal amounts the bar for us. I'm watching all the time, dude. How do we make our clips go viral? How do we make that happen, Neebs?
Tips.
I don't listen. I think one of my clips went viral for you guys, where I was talking
That's
about
right,
Midnight
it did.
Mass. I
Yes,
know.
that's actually true.
I was
all
like-
we gotta do is have his face on there, and it immediately
It's not
hits a
his
million
text.
views.
You know what it is?
Just laugh.
Oh, maybe it's my. I don't know if
It's
it
his
could be.
laugh.
I
Oh
do
my
have an
God.
infectious laugh. I do laugh a
No, there
lot.
was that one TikToker reel where it was, that girl said "Assalamu alaikum, bitches."
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
were laughing right after that, and everyone commented on your laugh. So I'm like convinced that's
I
what
have
it is.
I yeah I have a giggle. It's just like not a manly thing to have. So like people just laugh at my giggle, and it's just infectious. I don't know. It's weird.
This is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah. But I also think like we gotta like it's a little bit like fun to just like talk about people and learn about people. It's super fun to be on other people's show, and like ours is not more of an interview format because like we don't know how to interview people, so we just like to have conversations. We just have like conversations and we kind of just let it flow, and it's relaxed and like spontaneous stuff happens. So you never know. Like last week we realized that the reason that girls don't date Daisy men under 6 foot is because they are behind Daisy eugenics and they're trying to breed us out. Something like that could never happen in an interview.
Wouldn't get there.
Oh man, it's got to be spontaneous. But no, I also want to talk about the Moscow Film Festival because I think you guys are doing something so special, and I think it's
Yes.
just starting. And the way you guys do it, it's so awesome. Like you guys don't throw a rinky-dink show. It was professional. It was organized. You guys paid for like my hotel, and I'm just like, why? I'm like, I should be paying you guys to come here. It was so nice, and like you guys threw after parties for the influencers and the creatives and like the celebrities. It was really really cool. Like, tell us what was the inception of the Moscars Film Festival, and also if you guys don't know, Moscars equals Muslim Oscars. It's a play on words, which I didn't know until like 3 months after I left the freaking thing.
How did you find out?
I think Asif told me.
Dude,
I'm
Asif
just
probably found out
picturing-
then too.
Yeah, I'm just picturing like a shower thought, just like randomly one day, and he was like, "Oh, I get it now."
Or like
But,
the thing when like That's So Raven gets a vision where it
Yeah.
just like zooms in and you're like, oh my God, Oscars.
I'm like, it doesn't make sense. There's no mosque here. Like, what are you guys doing? I didn't understand. It was so confusing.
it's a valid concern. It's a valid
Yes,
concern.
there are no mosques.
I
at the
thought
event.
we were all gonna pray Maghrib and like inside the festival. Like I didn't know what was going on.
we did play
Man,
Maghrib.
there's
We did play
time.
Maghrib.
We have it in the schedule.
Yeah.
It's really
allowed for
cool.
it to
No,
happen,
they had
so.
they had music, they had poetry, they had films. It was awesome time. It was awesome.
When's the
And
next one?
when is the next one? Good question.
October 2023, specifically October 14th. But you'll be getting
Yeah, we're gonna send a save the date to our creative community very, very soon. October 13th, 14th. We're hoping maybe even 15th. Might add another date. But
Ooh, you heard it here first,
yeah.
guys. So
There
if
you
anybody's
go.
having a wedding on that date, don't invite me.
Move it.
cancel it now. Cancel your wedding and come to
Yeah.
Edmonton instead.
Ju-
Yeah, but yeah,
just-
no, I was just gonna say, Sophia, if you want to take that question, dive in.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, it's hard because like Sikandar's been there the whole time. So like in terms of a vast fountain of historical knowledge, that's all him. But yeah, as far as I know, the Moscars was started in 2006 at the University of Alberta here in Edmonton by a group of young Muslim people who was just like, hey, like we want to tell our story. We want to kind of change the way people perceive Muslims using film. And so it was like in the Students' Union building on campus as a very tiny, kind of very local, very community-based thing. And it was a lot of like just young kids wanting to just pick up a camera and tell their story. And then since then, it has evolved many, many moons later now into an international film festival that is the only one of its kind, where we kind of showcase and celebrate so much more than just film. And we're also an international film festival now, getting submissions from all around the world. But we still have a lot of love for our local folks. So we have a local award that we have. We've also started an incubator program this year for local filmmakers here in Alberta. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And then this past year, we added the event called Opening Credits, which you were exclusively invited to. And that was like Sikandar's brainchild. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Go for
Sure,
it.
I could touch on that a little bit. So yeah, opening credits was this idea that we had that we wanted to expand the festival with more of a focus on the creative community as well as like an industry type event, right? Where we could actually put people in a room together who are coming from all different walks of life, maybe we've got some writers, maybe we've got some videographers, maybe we've got some directors. And the thinking was, if we can put them in a room together, can we create, and can we potentially have an opportunity for collaboration that comes out of it, right? The other aspect of it was, if you give purposeful space to the creative community, a lot of times they don't get that opportunity to actually meet in person, right? You might know people kind of in the periphery on social media, or through different virtual, rooms that might be available, especially coming out of COVID. But there really hadn't been this purposeful gathering of Muslim creatives that had ever existed. So we were able to secure enough funding to help cover some of the cost of, accommodation and travel for 250 Muslim creatives from all over the world, all over the U.S., Canada, the U.K. So we flew them down and had this event where, we had this amazing space where people could gather and discuss what they're working on and just kind of meet for the first time. And then B, we really wanted to fill the room with as many gatekeepers as possible. So this would be, people who work for different studios, people who work for different funding bodies. We wanted them in the room so that we can have a really meaningful conversation around why representation of Muslims is something that they need to be thinking about. So we had an amazing panel conversation with Zarka Nawaz, who's the founder of Little Mosque on the Prairie, Hamza Haq, who's the star of Transplant, which is on CTV and NBC here in CTV in Canada, NBC in the States. We had Claude Jolicoeur, who's the chairperson of the National Film Board of Canada. And we had Sahar Jahani, who's an incredible writer. So, it was just like this awesome conversation that spurred from just having these four incredibly talented people on the panel. And then, we were also able to put everybody up in the same hotel, which made that in itself be like this organic way that people could connect and hopefully collaborate on projects as they came out of it.
Yeah, no, it was really, really cool. And it was really educational for me because it was the first time I heard a term which I have been using religiously now, because people always ask, like, is this good representation? Is this bad representation? And someone, I don't remember who said it, but it was at the Damascus Film Festival pre-party. They said there's no such thing as good representation. There's just authentic representation and inauthentic representation. And I was like, wow, that blew my mind. And I'm like, you're right, because good is so subjective, right? But for something to be authentic, you can understand. You can watch a show like Miss Marvel and be like, this is authentic. I remember growing up and having similar things. But then you watch some of this stuff on Netflix and like every girl taking off her hijab for some white man. And it's like, a white man? Like, what? Typical. Like, it's just like so funny. And I'm just like, oh, what is wrong with Netflix? Why are they doing that? And or they show them like praying and it's like completely just like yoga. Like, I don't understand what they're doing, right? So I was really like, it blew me away. It's like you're gonna learn something. When you go to these things. I think really, really cool.
I appreciate that, and I think one of the things that we're wanting to do as we move into this year's event is, I think we all kind of recognize now that like you said, authentic, nuanced representation and diverse representation is important. I think we've kind of come to that conclusion as a collective community. So now the next step is like, what do we do about that, right? So we're really trying to tailor this year's opening credits event specifically, which is that industry night that you talked about. We're trying to tailor that to like, okay, now what? So we want to put in on the panel, heads of major festivals. We want to actually have people who are executive producers at different studios and actually ask them, like, what are you looking for? What is it that we can be doing as a community or as individual creatives that can actually get us into the room, that can actually get us the exposure that I think, so many of us are looking for. So hopefully we can continue to build on the conversation this year rather than just kind of, rehash the conversation, because I think we're kind of all getting tired of just rehashing the same conversation.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
so important. Like, building beyond just what you always do, that's very important. I'm so glad y'all are thinking long term here and not just doing the same thing over and over like some festivals do.
Trust me, this is going to be a big thing. Like, I see so much potential in this. And like, you guys are right about like people getting together and creating with other influencers and other content creators. Because just like I think 2 weeks ago, we had Morena Riyadh on our show talking about Love Is Blind, and she's someone I met on the bus to the Monsters Film Festival.
There you go.
So like it's just one of those things, like you can meet someone anywhere, right? And also it proves that like Muslims are not a monolith. We don't have the same, like everyone doesn't have the same opinions, because like she and me butted heads on the show because we have completely different opinions on Love Is Blind, and it was really
Okay,
really
wait.
fun.
What's your opinion on Love Is Blind?
Oh man, so we went back about Jackie and
Okay.
if Jackie is a good person or if Jackie was in the right. I am not a fan of Jackie.
Yeah, me neither.
She loved Jackie. She loved Jackie, and I was like, "What? You're crazy here." And like I was defending Marshall a little bit, and I don't really love Marshall either, but like I still think like he got it worse than Jackie, and Jackie got left off a little easy on the hook, man. They
What
left
are
her off.
Jackie's redeeming qualities according? Like
She
what?
found love.
I guess.
In a hopeless place.
Love is blind. She found
Yeah.
love after she saw the guy.
Yeah. I mean, all those shows kind of like make me scratch my head, Like I just finished Indian Matchmaking last night with my wife.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny how this might be a spoiler. I don't know if you guys do spoiler alerts, but
We've
spoiler
already done
alert.
the episodes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's crazy to me that the only relationship that actually worked out on that show is a relationship that came about which had nothing to do with Simanti. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
how insane is that this is now like what 3-4 seasons in and there hasn't been even one success story that they can highlight.
So
Like,
so we
how is
have
the
a
show
theory.
still on? Go
We
on.
have a theory about that. We're not even sure that the relationships that are shown that are not using Sima Auntie are real either. I have a theory that they were already dating and they went on the show, went on a few fake dates, and then just told Sima Auntie, by the way, I found someone on my own, but your words have really touched me and they really helped me find somebody. So they have an excuse to keep showing their story, and they're the worst part of the show. I do not care about people who found love not using the matchmaking, because that's just regular people. I don't care about regular people.
Exactly.
Right.
Why is this a show?
Yeah, no.
Hey,
It's just
but
called brown dating.
That's
it should-
exactly.
but
That's exactly.
out of all of the reality shows though, have you guys watched Temptation Island?
No, I
Because
haven't.
it is the best one. Because like, okay,
Doesn't it always come out around Ramadan time though? Like you gonna name a show Temptation Island during
Yeah,
Ramadan?
it moves back 10 days every year too.
Yeah, the
Release
production
it.
team knows. But seriously, Kate, I do like the Bachelor franchise. I indulge in that. But when you're watching it, it's like so gross, right? Like there's moments where
Yeah.
you're like, this is so exploity, and it feels a little gross to enjoy watching this. With Temptation Island, everyone leaves the island better. Not everyone. Most people leave the island better than they were. The host is, I swear to you, a therapist,
Interesting.
like a
What?
couples therapist. It's so good. And like they did a couple things in the first season that they don't do anymore, which I think is good because those could have gone awry. But
I
like,
watched those seasons.
oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah. Start with season 1. But like, I
We're about to
swear,
binge watch
if
this.
you watch it and aren't immediately addicted, I will give you each like
Well,
$6.
what channel is it on?
It's
Is it on
on
like?
Crave
Oh, is okay.
That's
Crave
where I
is like
watch
the
it.
Canadian version of like
of
HBO,
Hulu
Showtime,
and HBO.
Hulu,
Yeah. Well, no, Hulu-
everything. It's like a catch-all.
Yeah.
Oh,
It just all
man.
the things we don't have a platform to host. This one does
Literally.
it.
All you Canadian stuff is kind of like going to Walmart and getting these brands you've never heard of. What is Kirkland?
You know what, Kirkland?
Costco, man.
Kirkland water.
That's universal.
You're the Kirkland water.
Hey, listen, if
TV
you don't-
shows.
Then that just means you're bougie, man. That doesn't mean you're
Yeah.
not.
No,
You're not
y-
buying
no, no.
Costco. water.
That's true. That's true. You guys did give us We Are Lady Parts, so shout out to you guys for
Dude,
that.
so
That is
good.
a
Yeah.
great show. Speaking
Yeah.
of We Are
Polite
Lady Parts,
Society, yeah.
yeah, have you guys seen Polite Society?
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
It's
Yeah.
on. I
Oh
have
my
a
God.
date,
You
so I
guys-
have it.
You guys
Sweet.
must watch it. It's so good. I just did a review on it. Think of like it's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's
It looks like Scott Pilgrim-ish.
yeah, it's like Bend It
Yeah.
Like Beckham meets Scott Pilgrim meets Kill Bill meets Get Out. It's just like all these things
Oh,
combined.
yeah.
And like basically what it does, it takes from so many elements that I feel like this movie is a genre of its own. It's kind of like Desi surrealism. It's kind of like when
Like Everything Everywhere All.
Yeah,
yeah. Like everything
We
everywhere
worked
all
together
at
too
once.
long.
Yeah. But also like Atlanta. You watch some episodes of Atlanta, and you know how Atlanta uses like surrealism to kind of paint a commentary on race issues. This also does the same thing, but instead of race issues, it's more like generational trauma, patriarchy, stuff that the community kind of like deals with, but it's very subtle. So go into it. You'll love it. It's really, really good. I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want to spoil it, but it is a fantastic movie. And Nita Manzoor needs to get her flowers. Give her the keys to the kingdom. Put her in Miss Marvel 2. Put her in the Marvels. Put her in anything that has a brown person in it. I swear to God, she is amazing.
Moscow's Film Fest in October.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's get her out there, man. Let's get her out there. But highly recommend that movie. For you guys. Yeah. So
it was on the list, but now it's even more on the list.
Yeah.
It's at the top of the list now.
Yeah, but you guys do interview people who make these kind of movies, right? You guys just talked to somebody who did Mustache, I believe.
Yeah, Imran J. Khan, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another one with another guy named Kashif, I believe, and he had a movie.
Kasa, yeah.
Yeah.
Desi Standard Time Travel.
Yeah, it's so wild that people are making these kinds of movies now, and you guys are bringing it to. I would have never known about them if I hadn't seen them on your podcast. It's really, really cool.
Both Imran and Kashif have gone through, like they've been applicants and submitters, and Imran actually won literally every award in 2017. Like he swept the awards with a short film he did called Drone and the Kid, and it was like incredible, absolutely incredible. So Mustache is his first feature. He was one of the Pillars Fund whatever, like what are they called? Fellows, I think. Fellows, yeah. Right. Yeah. So he leveraged that, and obviously he was working on this script for a long time, and got funding to do his first feature, and it's incredible. It won the audience award at South by Southwest, so it'll definitely be getting wide release, I'm pretty sure, this year. And then Kashif has also, we've known Kashif forever, and I think he's gonna Desi Standard Time Travel, which is a short film that he made this year. I'm fairly certain, 99% certain, it's going to be submitted to the Oscars this year. So it's not available for public consumption yet, but definitely come check it out at the Oscars. And we've had a chance to see it, and it is absolutely incredible. And he got offered a feature development off of his short. So he's now turning that into a feature as well. So it's cool because you're not only seeing like these incredibly creative Muslims make these movies, but you're seeing them make movies that have nothing to do necessarily with like terrorism or 9/11 or like anything to do with like trauma porn. Like it's not that. It's Mustache is set in the 90s. It's just about like some brown kid growing up in the 90s and having to deal with like prepubescent mustaches. You know what I mean? Like that's like
a real problem.
Exactly. It's like one of those
for dudes, okay? Like that was like a universal brown person problem of puberty. Was you came in and you were like, what do I do with this? Like how do I
and then Kashif is making like a sci-fi movie about like a father-son connection after a father passes away, and it's like such a wildly out there concept, which is just so beautifully done. And like we talk about authentic representation. It's all about those like subtle touches, like having set designed in a way that's reflective of like a brown household or a Muslim household in that time frame, and like the immigrant experience, and having nothing to do again with like war on terror or anything like that, right? It's really, really cool to see the level of film, but like the quality of the film, but also like just the subject matter that's being covered now.
I'm really looking forward to that. The name alone got me, like Desi Standard Time Travel. Like that alone was like, take my money, please.
or hear me out. Just drop the Google Drive link, and we won't say anything.
Well, actually, no, we did contact him on TikTok, and he said he would be happy to come on our show too. So
right on, perfect.
Yeah. So we're going to be starting this new thing, and you guys are the first ones to do this with. We usually just recap shows, but we're starting to do a little bit more interviews and a little more like casual conversations with people instead of just recapping episodes. So we're taking a little bit, and because we want to talk to people like Kashif, and we want to talk to people like you guys, and like we're slowly building an audience. And unlike a lot of these other podcasts, our audience is actually not majority brown. So we're introducing non-brown people to brown culture, to brown concepts, and it's really great because I don't know why, but like white women love me, man. Middle-aged white women, they love me.
All of you out there.
Gertrude and Becky and Susan
You
and
don't know, man.
Catherine.
There was one
I
point
love them all.
last year where 95% of our audience were white women.
It's the bachelor takes, man. They like my bachelor takes.
I love it. I
The
love it.
way into middle-aged woman America, white women America's hearts is like you talk about The Bachelor.
Listen, we're converting every Karen into a Karen. That's what we're doing. So that's
Slowly
what's
but surely,
happening.
I love it.
Like on April Fool's Day, we played a prank that we were going off the air, and so many people left us heartfelt messages who were not brown, just saying like I learned so much about your culture. It was such a breath of fresh air. I talked to my coworkers about you guys, and like it broke my heart that we like played this
Oh
joke
my
on
God.
I
her.
felt so bad.
I felt so bad. I felt so
Aw,
bad.
That's really beautiful.
So many people said these things. It was really, really nice. So I like the fact that we have an audience who's not predominantly brown, and we can introduce them to more, like brown people, culture, a lot of the
Yeah,
stuff
man.
that's going on. So we
Plus,
like
it's good
that.
to like fake trauma every once in a while, just so you can get some sympathy, and then
Yeah.
go back to being like, just kidding.
Exactly. That's what we do all the time, man. We love
Podcast
that.
version of clickbait.
I know. Listen, we need more podcasts out there because apparently there's a writer strike going on right now, so we might not even have any
Yeah, man.
content for a while.
I know.
All
it's
scripted
wild.
content is going out.
Do you remember that back in the day when we were like kids, when the
Yeah.
writer strike happened, and
2007
like
or
it was all just trash TV for a while?
Yes.
and, like,
Yeah.
They made the late night guys go back on air, and they didn't know what to say. Like it was awesome. I remember that clearly.
I remember
was it
that.
that late?
too.
Was it 2007? I thought it
I
was
think
early.
No.
2007.
I
No,
thought
it
like
absolutely
2002 or
was.
something.
Maybe there was two, but it absolutely was. There was one in 2007 because the last season of the OC was short because of
Yeah.
the writer's strike, and like this whatever season of Grey's Anatomy that was
Mm.
too. There was like some stuff going on.
I remember
And-
Scrubs
wasn't that-
and
I wasn't that
Community.
young then.
Community also suffered a little bit. Scrubs suffered and 24 suffered. So it's whenever those shows were on the air.
Yeah.
That
I
was
remember.
definitely 07-ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the
'Cause
OC.
I was
Man,
in high
I
school
just
when that came out.
Yeah,
Me
yeah,
too.
yeah.
No, I was. Yeah,
I
it
was
was.
in high
Man, Kate, can we talk about that show? Because like, what a
What
a
OC?
time. Yeah, it changed music in television. That show.
Did
I
it?
swear. I think so. The way that like TV shows were scored and like
Yeah.
the music, like because it was that. Because every time I say that, people are like, "Oh no, Gossip Girl did that." Same dude. He did the OC first. So
Ah.
like they started it there, and then it was then Grey's Anatomy started using the music, and like now I think TV shows like use music a little more like in a different way that I feel like they didn't do before.
Honestly, I think Smallville did it first because Smallville used to do that, and that was 2001. They would play music after end of every episode, and I got all my alternative music, Simple Plan and whatever from that show. I didn't know about.
Avril Lavigne.
I got
There you
everything.
go. All the Canadian artists, man.
Yeah.
Vancouver,
Yeah.
Vancouver film show, Smallville.
Oh yeah, a lot of shows are actually there, right?
CW is
Suits.
pretty much based out of Vancouver.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, I
right.
remember that, Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That tracks.
And
That
Suits
makes
is
sense.
Toronto, yeah. So basically,
Yes.
anybody who's trying to be New York but not New York will film in Toronto, and then
Yeah.
anybody who's looking for like just cheap tax credits, maybe an ocean or two, will shoot in Vancouver.
And like a forest or two.
Yeah. It's good for like natural stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Although we just lost Last of Us season 2 to Vancouver, and I was very upset about that
Oh no.
because it was all filmed in Alberta last year for season 1. The entire thing was filmed in Edmonton, Calgary, and
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Mhm.
Banff, Canmore.
Yeah.
So
Heartbreak.
sad
Yeah.
day.
It was
man.
really cool though. I remember when I was up there, I did dog sledding, and that was in
Oh,
Banff, and it was
nice,
so
man.
much fun. It was
Yeah.
so much
Cool.
fun.
Cool
That's a
experience.
good way to spend your time when you're in the mountains.
Yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff there. So, what else are you guys watching these days? I know Ted Lasso is a big for you guys, right?
I don't know if Sikander's as obsessed as I am, but yeah, like inject that show into my
Yeah,
My
it's a good
entire
show.
personality is Ted Lasso.
Can I just say that? I feel like this season is a bit of a letdown. Like
Have
I
you, the
love
last two episodes though, 6 and 7?
Yeah, no. The last episode was good. It was fine, but it was. I feel like before that, it was a little bit like I felt like they were grasping at storylines, like that entire thing with like. Also, it's kind of weird that someone who has, and Noor brought this up, so I'll give her credit. My wife brought this up. She was like, "Isn't it kind of weird that like her boss, like her lead investor, is like coming on to her. Like,
Yes.
you know what I'm talking about?
I
Like,
think that's
if that was a
storyline.
different dynamic, like if that was a dude, like I don't know, I feel like
but
we would all have flags, but
I do think it's a problem, but I think that that's part of the story because like they don't end up together. Roy and Keely have to end up together. So like this is just a thing in
maybe.
the thing, you know?
Just time pass.
You know? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know,
What
but
about you, Neve?
I do think they're stretching out the losing streak quite a bit, and I'm hoping that it's going to pay off, right? Because like the more you stretch it, the more it's delayed gratification. I can understand why you guys be like, oh, it's the season's not hitting. If they play it off right, like it'll be delayed gratification. It'll feel better because if they do it too short, and I feel like a lot of shows do it too, like they'll be like, oh, they're down for 2 episodes where they're losing, and then all of a sudden they're winning again, right? So I think they're stretching it out. They're trying to make you earn it. Hopefully, it'll be a great payoff. I love Sam's storyline. That one just like blew me away. I love it. This Colin storyline is doing pretty well. I'm there's a lot of storylines that are happening in the background that I really, really
Jamie's
like.
character development.
Yes.
Like the fact that there's a problematic white man who can do better with the right like what a dream.
With the right
like that's,
writing.
that's but like it's so good. Like it's I think that they're doing a really good job with character development. And I do agree, Skundler. I feel like the first couple of episodes I was let down by of this season, but then I realized that I felt the same in season 2, like with the whole dog getting killed thing. I was like, what is this? But I feel like they're really actually very smart writers, and I feel like they're gonna tie it in.
I'm
like
sure they will.
did.
I don't know. Maybe it's
So I'm
like
trusting.
it's
And I thought episode 6 and episode 7 were like incredible. Like 6 especially I was like, this is one of my favorite episodes of TV like ever, I think.
It's
It
one of
was
those
so
shows.
there.
I feel like it's one of those shows where, like, regardless of how good it is or how bad that episode is, every episode does make me feel a little bit better than I went watching that. Like, I just leave that episode feeling better, and I need that because I can't afford therapy always. So
Ted Lasso is therapy, but I agree. I think that I'm a big comfort watcher, and like Sikander can probably attest to this, along with the other people in my life who are like, you should watch this show, and I'm like, I will. It's on my list, and my list is just very long because I'm like, I need like low emotional stakes when I watch television. So I need to watch stuff I already know how it turns out. So I'm like rewatching like comfort things like Jane the Virgin and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and whatever. But like then with Ted Lasso, I'm like, any new episode, bring it on, because I know that like the emotional, like I'll be taken care of. Like Jason Sudeikis will hold me and it will all be okay.
I feel like there's a BuzzFeed quiz about your personality. That you can figure out. Like, what kind of person are you if you watch this show over and over again?
Yeah.
I'm sure there must be. It's in some DSM manual somewhere.
Yeah.
DSM-5 for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys are also watching a show called Shrinking. So I don't watch that, but I know it's by the same people who did Ted Lasso. How is that show?
Oh, it's so good, dude.
It's so good.
Really?
Yeah.
I think hits for sure. I mean, it's also early, so we'll see. But
yes. Yeah,
What
but
do
it's
you think?
but it's basically like, I think it's a really good commentary about grief. It's like Jason Segel plays a therapist who is mourning the loss of his wife, trying to parent his teenage daughter, and then also like trying to be a therapist. And Harrison Ford is in it, and Jessica Williams is in it, both of whom are incredible, especially Jessica Williams. And like it's just really, again, like really incredible character development, really smart writing. And it's really
that's
cool.
like a cool show because it's not every episode is a happy ending, but like you will like you go through like the journey with them, and there's like really, really hilarious moments in every episode, but it doesn't require you to be like, and then it wrapped up with like a perfect bow at the end of it. You know what I mean? Like, so I think they did a really, really good job of like making it smart and like respecting the audience, you know, which you can only really do in like a streaming platform like Apple TV or, you know, HBO or something, you know. So I'm a big fan of Shrinking. Hopefully they don't let down as we move forward.
Yeah, that cliffhanger at the end of season 1 was a good one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna get into
All
it.
season 1's out. Oh, perfect.
All season 1 is out. Yeah. It's like only 8 episodes or 9 episodes. It's very short. Like, you'll be done tonight. You'll be done tonight, Jess.
Oh wow! All right, yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I mean, it's Bill Lawrence, and like he's the creator of Scrubs. Like he doesn't miss. He doesn't miss.
Scrubs.
Yeah. So it's really. I mean, it's not like Tiger King. You're gonna enjoy it. Yeah, trust me.
I couldn't finish Tiger King. I didn't get
didn't
into
finish
that
it.
one. I
Tiger
was
King
like,
was Tiger King was just a thing that happened during the pandemic, and we don't talk about
Yeah.
it.
it was like a collective fever dream, and
Yo,
then I saw it on Netflix again, and I was like, oh right.
This
I mean,
existed.
the memes are like forever with us now, which is
I
all that
know.
matters,
True.
right?
That
I'll
is
never
Carol
financially
Baskin.
recover from this. I've heard that like I hear that like once a week. I hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
and that Carol Baskin supposedly killed
Yeah,
her husband.
exactly.
So.
No, he was found alive.
I
He
know,
was-
I know.
That's so wild.
Wait, what?
Dude,
Yeah, yeah.
I
her
didn't know
husband-
this.
Was found
Yeah.
alive. Yeah.
Like recently?
Yeah, recently.
Yeah. true story.
It
Like,
may have been a
the
year
last
ago, but like
year,
sometime
yeah.
in the last year.
Yeah.
Men
I'm
faked his
I need
death
to-
and went to a Latin country as
I
if
need
he's
to
like some
recap.
kind of mastermind.
That's wild. Okay.
And everyone's just blaming poor Carol.
That's tax evasion right there for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh
Intrigued.
man, that's crazy. That's good, man. Are you guys excited for any of the Marvel stuff that's coming out soon? I know Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like I've kind of reached my Marvel threshold for the next little while. Like,
Yeah,
I
people are getting that
didn't even
fatigue.
watch Ant-Man, and like that was the
Oh, I
first
didn't
thing
either.
I like have fully skipped on. I mean, I'm gonna probably end up watching it when it comes out on Disney Plus, but it's tough. It's tough.
You're not
There's like
missing out
too
on anything.
much.
Like,
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's
Disney
not
Plus
great.
movie.
It's not
Yeah.
great. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if it was like, oh my god, like I'm gonna watch like in the new Spider-Man, like the Into the Spider-Verse one, like,
Right.
that for sure I'm gonna watch. But I feel like unless there's like a reason, like there's something buzzworthy happening, I don't know. I feel like I'm on a bit of a Marvel hiatus. Obviously, I'll watch the Marvels and support, but
Yeah.
know.
I feel
I
like
don't know
I
if you
also am
feel-
a little over Chris Pratt. Like I can't
Oh,
enjoy him
yeah.
anymore. So that's my one hesitation with Guardians. Because like I loved the first one.
Yeah,
And
he's
then the
everywhere. He was just in Mario like a little bit ago.
Yeah.
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 How was that? I feel like the three of you, I have not seen it.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
Maybe
it's good. Like it's exactly what you think it would be. It's not going to blow you away, but for what it is, it's pretty good. It's
Totally.
actually better than I was expecting. But it's not like groundbreaking, right? It's good. You'll enjoy it. Take it to kids, you'll love it.
Yeah, I
all
took
of
my
my-
I took my nephews and they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
just find
But,
some
like, It's kind of like Jurassic Park, like when Chris Pratt came back with Jurassic Park. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that was like a fun popcorn movie, and that you move on. You know what I mean? Like nothing groundbreaking or memorable, which makes me now think whether Chris Pratt is just that. He's like safe, vanilla.
Yeah.
Like he's not gonna push the envelope
Yeah.
and just do
Yeah.
that.
I feel like he was
Post
the same on
Parks
Parks and
and
Rec
Rec.
with that.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
on Parks and Rec, I feel like he was just safe and bland. Like he didn't do anything crazy or
Really? I thought on
groundbreaking.
Parks and Recs he was pretty good. Everything after that wasn't great.
Mm.
Hinged on Parks and Rec in a way that I was like, this is weird and like it's working. And you and Aubrey Plaza are therefore a very good couple on this show. But I feel like after that he got like normal. Like
How dare he?
How
I
dare you
know.
get six-pack abs and become
Yeah.
normal?
dude. Like even like the bloopers for Parks and Rec, or like when I'm in a sad mood, I will just put on bloopers from The Office or Parks and Rec
Okay, I'll
or
give
The
him
Mindy
that.
Project, and they're hilarious. And they're like some of the bloopers, like he was like a weird dude, and he was like farting on set all of the time, and I just don't feel like he's doing that anymore. Like his essence is gone.
Yeah. He got a new wife. He's got like he's got a new church. He's
As I was
just-
saying, I'm
Yeah.
like, isn't he like a pretty like strong born again Christian, which like,
Yeah.
we're all about, like
Like-
no problem. But interesting character development.
Yeah, yeah. Whoever's writing this show has
Yeah.
got a fascinating mind.
God has a sense of humor.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure the writing of our world was jump the shark when the pandemic happened.
Yeah, like whoa.
Weird stuff was going on.
Yeah.
We should have been
Awful.
canceled.
Pandemic. There's
It
a
was
show
for
about
sure
Tiger
Shonda
King.
Rhimes then.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. 'Cause she just
Murder
goes
hornets.
every show. It starts off so strong, so good, and then it just takes a hard left out of
How
it.
to get away with the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
man.
so
No,
sad
that's cool.
about that one.
Yeah. I'm actually excited for the return of the action movies like Mission Impossible. Like I am excited for that.
Me
Like
too.
That's going to be it. That's going to
Fast
be
you
the
guys
epic
seen
this
and
summer.
Furious 10.
John Wick?
What
I
happened?
didn't watch the new John Wick yet. I'm
John
like,
Wick?
Oh
so-
yes, it was so good. It's
Still
actually
waiting.
so good.
Spoiled it for me. He's like, I
Whoa,
don't
whoa,
like this
whoa! Don't.
I'm not. I'm cool, bro. But like he was like, I don't like that this happened, and I was like, what that happens, and I was like, well, what is the point? And so rude dad, but yeah, I've it's very good.
It is very good.
Yeah.
I mean,
All
it's
right,
just
I'm
Keanu
excited.
Reeves shooting people and going, yeah.
What do you
I'm
need?
in. Let's go. That's all I need.
I think he says like 48 words in the whole movie.
And
in like all 4
500
movies combined. Yeah.
of them
Even
were like,
better.
yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
No, I agree with you. I'm like looking forward to those big budget, like box office mastermind type movies.
Yeah, like the Barbie movie. No.
Exactly.
I still haven't seen that movie. I need to go watch it.
Is it
What?
out?
No, it's not out
Is it
yet.
out? Oh,
No.
okay.
It comes out the same time as Oppenheimer. So that like Oppenheimer's going
head to
against
head.
Barbie movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double header.
What?
Let's do it.
Yep.
I love that.
Okay,
for-
all
You
right.
gotta you gotta wash down Oppenheimer with Barbie. You know, just
I
like-
think it'll be
Totally
hilarious
fine, yeah.
if Barbie beats Oppenheimer. I think that'll be hilarious. I might just
No,
go
I
see
think
the-
that'll be awful. I think that'll commentate a lot about society and.
Hey, listen. listen.
Listen, the Barbie movie has more diversity, okay? So it's 1 point
No.
for diversity.
I mean, the other one is historically accurate. So
Right.
Yeah, that's true. You can't really
But we already know what happened. We don't know what happens in the Barbie movie.
read a book, man. That's what you want to know.
Yeah. Yeah,
my
you don't
God.
need to see the Oppenheimer movie to learn.
There's
about
spoilers out for Oppenheimer, apparently. Yeah.
Oppenheimer. There's no suspense
called
there.
life.
anymore.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Oh, that reminds
I don't
me.
know. Although I've heard there's a lot of like controversy about the choice of Ryan Gosling as Ken.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, apparently he doesn't look like a Ken. I don't know what that means, but apparently that's
I mean,
he doesn't
he's not
have
buff
like a.
enough. He's not.
Oh,
big
No,
enough.
I
maybe.
mean this in the nicest way to Ken's out there, but like he doesn't have a stupid enough face. I agree with that. Like,
He's
you know
too
how,
smart
like-
to be Ken.
You know how like Channing Tatum and like John Cena are just like big and dumb looking.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's-
yeah.
That's the vibe. Like Ryan Gosling is not that. Fair enough, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, fair enough.
Like
I mean,
Channing Tatum
I
would have, I feel like
guess.
made an excellent Ken.
Yeah, I can
mean,
see that.
I
Yes.
Are you auditioning right now, Jazz, for Ken?
I am actually offended because my boy John Cena is the most wholesome guy.
Yo,
Like,
He
if you've
is.
actually
I
ever heard him
love
like
John
online, he's
Cena.
the coolest guy ever.
I
He is.
love
No.
John
What Sophia is saying is if you judge a book by its
Wait,
cover,
yeah.
as you
Take
should
away
in this
incredible
situation.
personalities and just look at them as physical specimens. They look
Okay.
stupid, right? Like they look like they
Got
couldn't.
it. Objectify. Here we
do-
go.
Objectify
Yeah.
the man. Yeah.
Yeah. If I were to spin the thing on the patriarchy here and objectify a man for a second. Yeah.
I think there'll be more laughs in the Barbie movie than there will be in Oppenheimer. I don't think.
Debatable. Chris Nolan is underrated for his comedy skills. I feel, but-
It's
I
not.
mean,
I
have
feel
you
like
met
the
my
Barbie
friends?
movie. Yeah. I feel like the Barbie movie might have done something wrong if it's less funny than Oppenheimer. Greta needed to maybe go back to the drawing board on that one.
I feel like people just. I feel like this generation just likes to fuck with you. Like they're like, you know what? Wouldn't it be funny if we just happen to elect Donald Trump as president? Let's do it, guys. like you never know with this generation. Anything could happen.
I'm sure there was like
That was
more
the
than
old
no. I feel like there was like more than a margin of error amount of people who went to the polling booth and were like, "This will be funny," and then
Yeah.
voted for Donald Trump. And then next thing you know, he's president. I can see that. You Americans, I could see it.
we Americans, fair.
It's not just Americans. Look at Brexit. That happened.
That's
People were
true.
like,
That's
yeah,
true.
might as well vote for it. Like,
Yeah.
and then it
pretty
actually
true.
happened.
Yeah, number
Uh,
one question on Google in the UK after Brexit was, "What is Brexit?"
Yeah.
Like, that's like a true fact. It's just wild.
Yikes.
Well,
Yup.
listen. At least our president hasn't done brown face yet.
Not yet.
You give it time. Joe's
Give-
not one.
Listen, representation matters. That's all we agree on that.
We want a brown president, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
One way or another. Oh man, that's funny. This was a good time, man. We really had a lot of fun with you guys.
thank
We're
you
about
guys.
like the top of the hour, but I want to let people know where they can go and find you guys. So, Sakanda, could you let people know where they can find you?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're at Moscow's Film Fest on pretty much all social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. If you search for The Halal Gap on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever you find your podcasts, you'll find us there as well. We do also have a dedicated Instagram channel for The Halal Gap, which is at the halal_gap. So put a little gap between
damn.
Halal and Gap. So
Somebody took the
Hilarious.
handle.
no, we just we wanted to put the gap in there. So there you go. But I do think someone took at the Halal Gap and it was like one follower and he wouldn't respond, and so
Rip.
rip indeed.
That's why you got to get it first, man. You got to get it
I know,
first.
just claiming everything from now
The
on.
minute you have an idea, just buy that domain.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Jazz did. We came up with an idea called Rista Bro, and Jazz went that day and bought all the domains for Rista Bro, the Instagram, the TikTok, the everything. We're gonna start a Rista business one day, and
love
like we bought all the domains just in case.
Blow Simonti out of the water, man. I
That's
can't
right.
Do it.
Yes.
Do it.
We are
Yeah.
men. We will see how much of a fuckboy other men are, because
Yeah,
reality
I'd be
is
like,
we've either done it or we can see right through it.
Yes.
And so we can tell women, hey, this is a good match or it's not.
That's right. You know,
Love
like
it.
like
Honest
who
profile.
who else knows how to find a fuckboy than former fuckboys, right? Like we have like we have the market.
Yeah, I've done that trick before.
and also we'll have
Red
everybody
flag.
we'll have everybody sign a document that says if they happen to be a fuck boy and we didn't catch it, we get to beat them up. So like everybody
okay.
wins. I'm
It's
telling
like
you,
Fuckboy
Rista Bros.
Island, but the prize is
Yeah.
beats from Neo. I like
Beat
it.
down. Listen, it's gonna be big, guys. It's gonna blow Team Auntie out of the water, just like you said.
Yeah.
I
Rista
mean, if
Bros.
you have even one successful relationship, you would
already
have already
winning.
already beat Team Auntie out of the water.
That's true. Technically, Team Auntie probably has some like negative matches because I'm sure a lot of those people hate each
my
other
God.
now.
100%. I believe it.
Wait, did you know that it's $20,000 to get a
Yeah.
consultation? Just a consultation, not even for
Yes.
her to like do anything.
Oh, I thought
That's
that was like the
wild.
fee to like be
No,
part
no.
of her. thing, her
Allegedly,
Rolodex.
just a consultation.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
For
like
her to like
crazy.
meet you and tell you how
Hey-ish.
your standards are too high and you need to like
That's
lighten your
wild.
skin and lose some weight and all that fun stuff that she tells people.
You know what we should do
I
on
don't need to
Rista
spend
Bros?
20K for that. I can just go on Facebook.
No, I got a better idea.
Ask my friends to roast me, and it's the same thing.
Listen, for Rista Bros, we'll just bring them on the podcast and have two people date, and me and Jazz will just comment on the dating.
Yo, that was amazing.
That was
Right?
that was a show, wasn't it? Where they'd like undercover, they'd like date, and then it'd be like it was like a dating show where they were trying to prep someone, and they'd like send them on a date, but there'd be like cameras and mics, and they'd like comment on it. That was a
I
show,
think
right?
so. I think so. It probably was, right? Blind Date? I don't know. I think it was called Blind Date.
Or something. Oh, maybe it was. Yeah.
I don't
anyway.
know. But I don't know.
And-
Oh, I remember this. Like an MTV show back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this. Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
I
Yeah.
remember it
Okay, good. I was like,
yeah,
did I
like-
just make
All I
that
know is
up?
Rista Bros is gonna blow up one day, and don't even try to take the handles
They're
because
taking-
Jazz got them all.
Already.
Done. That's called forward thinking.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
You never know. Well, thank you guys for being on the show. We will always welcome you guys back if you ever want to come back. This was awesome. Can't wait for Moskers. I'm gonna put that on my calendar. And
Sounds
guys,
Yeah.
go follow them. Come to the Moskers. I'll be there. You want to hang out with me? You want to hang out with Jazz? You want to hang out with Sekander and Sophia? We'll hang out with you, man. We'll have a party in the hotel lobby with some
Let's
Canadian
do it.
pizza.
Let's do it.
Hey,
man. I'm
Pizza
in.
Unlimited, baby.
Yeah. All right,
Thank you guys. Really appreciate having us on. Thanks.
No
guys.
problem, man. This was a fun time. This was a fun conversation. We had a great time. And until next time, guys, salam, nerds.
Peace.
Salam, nerds.